small taste of Feed the Children's journey. And that's where I learned that I, as one person, can make a difference and change the world. Feed the Children does something that you saw in the video called Adopt a Village, and that's how they break the cycle of poverty, by focusing on education, clean water, health and sanitation, alternative income, and agriculture. We were there to help build the school for that education piece, so that's what we did. We literally built the school, brick by brick from the ground up. And we took that school that you saw before, that didn't have any walls or windows, and we turned it into a school that now looks like this instead. On top of that, we also saw the clean water projects which were right at the school, so the girls could come to school, get an education, but still collect water and bring home clean water to their families. On top of that, I saw the alternative income programs, which for those who maybe don't know, alternative income is just a fancy way of saying helping families make more money. So for instance, the mamas in Kenya make beautiful beaded jewelry that we sell here in North America and at our store in Toronto, which I know you guys know a little bit about. These bracelets that I'm wearing here today are called the Water Rafiki friend chains, which I know many of you are wearing and have sold, which is so cool. And basically one bracelet is $10 and provides clean water for one person for an entire year. So something as simple as that, and then the money goes back to the mamas and their kids don't have to stay home and work. They can go to school. Now all this is really inspiring, but to be honest, the moment that actually changed my life forever is when we arrived at the Feed the Children schools. And all of the kids came running out, they circled around me, and they were laughing and giggling and pointing and talking a mile a minute in a language I had no idea what they were saying. They were eager to give me a tour of their school. And after they gave me a tour, we sat in the grass and they asked me every question under the sun to get to know me. Where was I from? How did I get here? Where were my legs? Did I leave them in the United States? But at the end, after I'd answered all their questions, the young girl raised her hand. And she looked at me, and in Swahili she said, "Sukuje yukitu, ingefanyika wazuri pia." And translated into English, she said, "I didn't know that this sort of thing, meaning the loss of my legs, could happen to white people too." That one phrase fundamentally changed the entire course of my life. That one sentence, I realized a couple things. The first thing, just by this simple action of me showing up and hanging out with these kids, I was able to show them that they weren't the only people with struggles and obstacles in their lives. And that there's always hope, and that the one thing that brings us all together as humans is that we're all going to face challenges. The second thing that they showed me is that I had spent so much time trying to fit in that I missed the one thing that was important. And that was that I could use my story to inspire other people to not only look at challenges differently, but to recognize that it doesn't matter where you come from, what color your skin is, what your gender, what your abilities are. We all have the ability and the responsibility to lend a helping hand to someone who needs it. And the third thing that I realized is that if I came home to North America and did nothing about what I learned, not only would I be wasting my gifts, but it would be an injustice. So I literally stalked the Meet and Feed the Children website until I saw they were hiring for a speaker. I went out for an interview. A few months later, packed up my entire life, said goodbye to my family, left my dog with my parents, and I moved to Toronto, where over the last 5 years I've traveled around the world sharing these stories. Now when I joined Me2We and became an ambassador for Feed the Children, for me it wasn't just about sharing my story. I also wanted to be able to work with the incredible students that make a difference every single day. So I'm also a leadership facilitator. So I run our volunteer trips overseas every summer to places like India, Kenya, Ghana, and the border of Arizona, Mexico. And I also had the opportunity to facilitate something called our Take Action Camp, which our Take Action Camp is a week-long leadership camp where we bring students from all around Canada, typically in Ontario. We've got a leadership center there, where we talk about